One of the most commonly asked questions that we get on the channel is how do you find these interesting gravel routes? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you guys how we find routes. So first off, I want to acknowledge that there are many ways to do this, either with paper maps or with other services like Strava or Commute. Primarily, we tend to use Ride with GPS. I mean, it's something that we're familiar with. It's got lots of great features like curated routes, and you can search pretty easily by geographical location where you're going to ride in. Point being, there are many ways to find gravel routes. This is a way that we tend to do it. So with all that said, let's hop on the computer and find some grab. And a quick note, this is completely unsponsored. Ride with GPS is not paying us to make this video. If anything, we're paying them a couple $100 a year to host the Copy Outside map and other related projects. So I wish we were sponsored by them. So anyways, yeah, so if you have a Ride with GPS account, you log in and instantly you are greeted with this. They've got this great system of ambassador routes. One cool thing about Ride with GPS, in Oregon, it was really used by kind of the very early kind of route bikepacking creators. So we've got Gabe here from Limberlost. We've got the folks at OMTM, Our Mother the Mountain, Velo Dirt. They used to be really active. They're the ones that mapped out the Oregon Outback route, and they were really, Ride with GPS power users. So here we've got already Our Mother the Mountain. You can look, they've got a great write-up. They're kind of selected routes, and you can jump in and get route statistics. They've got lots of POI information, some notes here, some helpful tips. And of course, you can download all these routes to your Garmin, Wahoo, whatever. I'm not going to go into that. This isn't meant to be a tutorial on how to put routes on your GPS. If you search on YouTube, Ride with GPS actually has your own YouTube page that shows you all the technical details. But what's cool about this is if you get familiar with a certain group of riders or route creators, chances are they probably have some routes here on Ride with GPS. So I know OMTM is really popular in the Portland area, and they've got an awesome library of routes here. And what's cool about a lot of these ambassador routes is they're filled with beautiful pictures to really kind of sell the ride. You get your basic statistics here, 58 miles, 6,600 feet of climbing. Some ambassador routes are more fleshed out than others. OMTM does a really good job. I think they're a great example of power users on the platform. So I'm going to back up a bit here. So you'll see this guy, Oregon Scenic Bikeways. You guys know that we worked on doing the marketing stuff for the Oregon Scenic Bikeways, so they utilize our photography with their routes. So basically, if you're looking for kind of curated rides that are vetted, that have good notes, POI information, where the scenic viewpoints are, where there's camping, where all this good stuff is, Ride with GPS has a pretty good library of routes on their service. So one thing that Ride with GPS offers, which I don't think Commute or even Strava does anymore, is you do have access to Google Maps. So you see a little dude icon here. You can jump in and you can get your street view on, so you can kind of gauge the nature of the road. You can also switch to a satellite view so you can see if it's unpaved or not. Do that here. Yeah, so switching to satellite, this is clearly an all-paved route. But I don't think Commute or Strava does this anymore. And I think the reason is because for a service to use satellite imagery or just the Google Maps app, they have to pay an absurd amount of money, and not every service has that at their disposal. But Ride with GPS does, so good for them. Okay, so we're gonna find some gravel. I'm gonna give you guys an example of when we went to Sacramento and rode that gravel route, how we discovered it. So if you look here on the left, it's got all these finer route options. So I'm gonna type in a destination, and let's put in Sacramento. This is actually what I did when we went to Sacramento. And starts within, let's say, 5 miles of the city. And let's see just what comes up. Boom. So you've got Clarksburg and Bogle Winery, American River route, all sorts of fun rides that people are posting. So these may not necessarily be gravel. So pro tip, if you can call it that, is if you go into the keywords and type in gravel and hit search again, this is all there is to it, people. Bam! Gravel rides in the Sacramento area, all sorts. So let's look at this one, gravel Sacramento to Tahoe. This looks pretty ambitious. So again, you get all this data here. Let's look at the gallery. So a couple photos, just that one and that one. So that's a good kind of indicator of the terrain that you're going to be going through. Let's see. Let's go back to that one real quick and utilize some of the advantages of Ride with GPS. So like I mentioned, there's access to satellite imagery. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to go top right corner, drop down the satellite view, and bam. I'm just going to dig in here. So that looks, yeah. So what I'm looking at is trying to look beneath the red line here. So it's definitely brown, so you can tell clearly that it's unpaved because it doesn't look like a paved road. One cool thing about this is usually I'm not saying that it happens here, but if there's a gate or something, you can see the gate either because of the line or it casts a shadow. So you know if you're going to have to cross some things. I'm not sure where the river crossing is, but I bet if we scrolled around on the satellite imagery enough, we could find it. So let's see. I'm going to go to the ride that we did. I believe it was this one, West Sac Gravel ? Because there was a portion when we were riding this, we're like, oh, can we actually do this? Because there was a train track crossing and it didn't look 100% legit. Let's see if I can find it here. Where was it? I think it's there. Okay, I see it. So again, I'm going to switch to satellite view. So when we were in Sacramento, we did 2 rides, a kind of chill one that we showed you, and then this guy, where it was definitely a lot more rugged, and there were parts where we were like, can we actually do this? So the part in question is this little corner here. So you're on this levee road, and the trail would indicate that it goes this way, but the GPS had us go this way, and there's a might not be 100% legal train crossing. So again, this is one reason why this is super useful, because you can spot problem issues like this. If there's a dodgy crossing or a fence or a particularly deep creek or something, having the ability to dive into the satellite imagery is killer. Or it's not killer. It may save your life. So yeah, that's one problem area that you can kind of suss out. Let's see, what else was there? There's also this thing over here. If you're just following a route, you can't tell what's going on. It looks like there's a road, but what happens is you're actually on a trail, and this is like a super steep embankment here. The trail kind of gives you some indication of that. You can kind of suss it out by like the shadows and the angles. But as you can see, Ride with GPS, powerful tool not only for discovering rides, but also kind of doing a little pre-ride, vetting them. I know on one portion of this ride, it was a little bit dodgy. It was this stretch on Industrial. And we can drop down in there with the magic of Google. So this was kind of a high volume road, lots of truck traffic, a little bit of a shoulder. Don't ride this during rush hour. So again, another powerful way to use Street View, because it is integrated, is to get a sense of traffic volumes and road conditions and stuff. Okay, so that's how we discovered that route in Sacramento, and we're actually going to be heading south to Los Angeles. So let's see if we can find some grab in Los Angeles. My parents live in Sunland, so let's see what pops up. I'm going to expand the range here a little bit. Okay, so based out of Southern California, this is kind of in the valley area. Expanded the search radius to be within 25 miles of my parents' place, and with the keyword gravel. And let's see what comes up here. So we got Mulholland and Sycamore. This one's great. It's got a ride up here, a mixed train ride with Michael Goodman, who took his gravel bike. So sometimes there's a pretty compelling narrative. But yeah, so gravel in Los Angeles, guys. This is how you find it, or in wherever you're looking for. Let's see, Rincon, Redbox to Monrovia. Another good way to know if it's gravel and it's not necessarily in the title. is by the pictures. So, lots of people will upload routes with pictures, and you can kind of suss that. Wow, this looks pretty cool. I might have to bookmark this one. Actually, I will do that. Where do I bookmark it? Oh. I use Ride with GPS a lot, but I still forget features all the time. Oh, copy my routes. So you find a route that you like, you have a Ride with GPS account, hit copy to your routes. And then when you go to your account, you can rename it, you can edit it if you want it to start from a different place, all that good stuff. So let's try, what else? Let's do Sunland again. There's a couple more. So here, Turnbull Canyon gravel, again, kind of a good indicator that it's gravel route is that it's got the word gravel in it. Here, not quite sure where the gravel is. I'm assuming it's in this part. So we can go in and confirm that by zooming in and switching into satellite. And lo and behold, you're looking at the grav. So it looks like this part's paved, this part is gravel, and yeah, so Rose Hills #1 Fire Road. So as you can see, super powerful tool. And one big advantage I would say of Ride with GPS is that it does have a lot of users, probably not as much as Strava, but Ride with GPS users tend to be really into it. I'll show you guys what we have here around here in Missoula. So I'm going to type in Missoula. I'll leave it at 50 miles. Okay, so we got TL2 Creeks, No Man's Land. This is our friend Allie. She's a designer over at Adventure Cycling. It's got people that rode the Montana Gravel Challenge, their route, gravel south side loop. Hey, that's one of our routes. I think we rode this or edited a pre-existing ride. Yeah, this is the one that we rode. So yeah, good way to find some gravel routes here. I'm sure you can probably do something like this on Strava. I don't know, I'm not a Strava user. We have a Strava account, I'm not super active on it. I tend to favor Ride with GPS just because the people that create routes here, it tends to be less like metrics and racing focused and a little bit more exploratory. I know a bunch of you guys are gonna be saying, what about Commute? We've seen all these people using Commute. So let's look at Commute. I have to admit, I am not a Commute power user, so I am 100% missing features. But I've logged into the desktop, and this is what I see. I see Lael. Hey, Lael. Some other people that have accounts, and yeah, that's what you got. Route planner is pretty obvious. You can plan routes right away. I don't think, it looks like you're only locked into one map set, maybe, I'm not sure, but definitely not, oh wait, there's layers here. Oh, Google Satellite, beta, so maybe they do have, the Googles, who knows. So I take that all back. Apparently Commute has a Google on their desktop. And Google Roads. I think one big difference you'll notice immediately is kind of what you're greeted with. It's you've got the route planner, and at basically your homepage you've got people, but it doesn't give you like a list of routes like Ride with GPS does. That's why I tend to favor Ride with GPS. It's just got all these great rides already there for you. I know that, let's say we follow Lael. Then we'll probably see some of her rides, right? Again, sorry, I'm not a power user here. Oh, there we go. So we go back to the homepage and we see Lael, Campfire Cycling Group Ride, Avenue Bike Shop in Tucson, Spirit World 100. So it seems as if you have to follow certain people before your feed gets populated with routes, as opposed to Ride with GPS, it's just there. They highlight the ambassadors, and then you can dig in and get more granular to where you actually want to ride with the search features. I was looking at Commute the other day with Laura, and I was like, man, there's got to be a way to just find, routes by geographic region. And we did find it eventually. It's not where you would expect. Like, you would think that, man, Lael rides a lot. Hold on. I know where it is, but I'm gonna have to momentarily unfollow Lael here because I have to get to the bottom of the webpage. Sorry, Lael, I'll follow you later. Okay, so this is, again, the landing page when you sign into Commute. And again, landing page when you sign into Ride with GPS. I want to find a ride. Where do I find it? You'd think it would be over here, but no, it's down here, right where you put like the contact and the support and all the links to kind of complain to companies. So we'll click on cycling routes and see what they got. Bike touring routes and trails, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so routes, you know, they do have it. You have to dig deep, or you have to dig where you wouldn't expect it. Let's look by region. Again, I'm a cheapskate with Commute. I'm on the free account, so there might be more stuff if you've got an actual an account here. So cycling in California, they've got some stuff. All right, what they got? So, you know, 14, 18, 20 best cycle tours in California. All right. So they've got some things, some information here. Let's see what this says when I dig in. So intermediate, good ride, good fitness, photos. So they've got some mile indicators here with some point of interest information. So okay, better than I thought initially. So there's some things. I'm just used to the layout of Ride with GPS. So what if I was gonna search for a route though? How would I do that? Gravel in Sacramento? No tours found. I admit I could be completely doing this wrong. Let's do gravel Sunland. Any routes there? Okay, we've got some routes. There's this guy. All right, this is a nice one. Goes up into the hills here. What else? And what's this one? That one. Okay, so someone is using Commute in Burbank, that area. So one person. So you can see one of the disadvantages of Commute we found, at least in the United States, is it doesn't have that critical mass of users. I don't think there's anyone in Missoula that's using Commute. Let's see if there are any routes here. So nothing, easy, intermediate, expert. Gonna zoom out until something pops up. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just searching it wrong. But the point is, a little bit easier to find things on Ride with GPS for me. Again, not a Commute power user, and also not sponsored by Ride with GPS. You know, we're giving them money, bastards. You know, there are many tools out there. We like to use Ride with GPS. It seems to be well populated. It's got great stuff like ambassador routes and all this thing and all this stuff. And it's also got a great desktop planner. I don't know if the mobile version of Commute's any better. Typically, when we want to ride in a place, we'll plan it via the desktop first. I hate planning routes on mobile, just to be honest. So I've not looked there. Maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe it's more optimized for mobile. But in terms of the desktop, I think for me, for us, Ride with GPS just seems like the better option. So if you guys found this video helpful, please consider supporting the channel via PayPal or Patreon, links in the description below. Keeps all this independent bikey content going. And until next time, guys, keep the supple side down.